Hi there, it's Sue Greenwald here with Awaken Stories. I'm here today with John Kennedy Jr. Hey, John, how are you?
I'm doing good. Good morning, Sue. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. We were just talking about fake accounts on TikTok and how the numbers are being played with. There's all sorts of tomfoolery going on with getting this information out there. Clearly, somebody doesn't want this information out there. So, not cool. But for those that haven't, watched the previous videos, we're asking you to purchase this book, Stolen Identity, which tells part of John's story, not even all of it, but it gives you the basic structure of what we're talking about and what happened to him, and from basically age 3 on. And there's lots of other details that we're finding out in these weekly updates. So the stories are fascinating, and we occasionally get questions. We get haters, we get people that are really supporting you, and that's the bulk of what we're getting is supporters, which is amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's the smart ones that can see the truth a mile away.
Yeah.
Yeah, please see the reviews on my book on
Yeah.
Amazon, Stolen
Yeah.
Identity. Um, it's huge. The people that are asleep in this world, they've been lied to so much by our governments, the people controlling them, straight out lies.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people to admit it. It's hard to, it's hard for people to say, hey, I fell into their bullshit. I was lied to. I went with their program. Some people just don't have it in here to say, hey, I was wrong. I've had to do that in my life many times. But yeah, there's some
Well,
people that aren't awake. Some people think um, these members placed by organized crime in our government are the greatest thing since freaking hot chocolate. It it's crazy. It's crazy,
well,
but maybe they'll wake up and say, "Hey, um, what they did to John and all the murders and all the cover-ups by this organized crime ring running our country. I hope they wake up. I hope they wake up. I deserve justice. My family members that were been murdered and replaced deserve justice. This world needs justice for all the injustice that's being done right at the.
right
I
now.
can't stress it enough. I can't. I can't.
Well,
We the people.
look at how it's rippled out. Okay, so your father assassinated in plain sight of the entire world in broad daylight, and then what's happened to you? All the people that they've murdered and replaced, how it's affected their families, the economics. Like one person's story, caught in this book has affected so many. Like we don't realize how big this story is. And we haven't even heard all the stories yet. It's
Yeah. It should be world news right now. It should be on all
yeah.
the news channels. It should be they should be demanding in the White House, in Congress and Senate. It should be. It really should be. And I'm not just saying that because I wrote the damn book. It should be in all the mainstream media, but it's not because
No.
I'm exposing them all. Not just conspiracy theories. I've lived it. I've learned it. It's organized crime, all the way to presidential candidates being placed by the mafia. Um, I can't sugarcoat it. I can't. They're placed by the mafia before you go to the polls. They're selected, not elected. They're stuck, and you think you're going to go vote for this guy and he's going to save us. Well, it's the same crime ring you're voting for.
Right.
And people need to wake up and say, hey, I was wrong.
Right.
They really
So,
are criminals.
so the slogan
They don't change nothing. They,
selected, not
they don't
elected,
they don't change nothing.
selected, not elected applies to our political system as well as those that are in Hollywood and entertainment. Okay. That's not
Oh, they're
organically done.
selected.
Yeah. They're selected at,
Hollywood, the
yeah.
music industry, they are all selected. 100%. And they know that if they don't go with organized program, they're so much in control of the media and every other thing to make them a star, they won't be a star. Organized crime flat out tells these people, we'll make you a star. We'll build you up or you won't be one. It's
Right,
that simple.
right. Right. And all we, the people, need to do is just look around at the headlines, look at the videos, the concerts, the stuff that's on TV. It's continuously getting darker, 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 more evil, more satanic, right in front of our faces. Now, not everyone recognizes that, but like it's so blatant now. They're telling us what they're doing in broad daylight. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Good example, Sex Pistols. I was thinking about this yesterday. If you remember the band, the Sex Pistols,
Yeah.
God save the Queen. Yeah, yeah. Um, they were getting too big for their britches. The Sex Pistols. They were coming out, and government didn't want them to come out. Next thing you know, heroin overdose.
Yeah. And who would question the
Yeah,
story, right? Who would question that
yeah.
story?
Who would? Punk rockers. Dying of heroin. Hey, just another day.
Yeah,
But yeah, they were getting too big. Um, just one example of many. One
right,
example of many.
right,
But yeah, they're selected also, and if they're not selected, they won't become famous.
right,
They're started. In my videos, my pictures, you see me at school at a very young age with the John that stole my identity. My stepbrother, no Kennedy blood, became a Kennedy. Identity theft is huge, but who else you got there? You got Denzel Washington, Sean Hannity of Fox News, and those other kids, maybe Tucker Carlson. I don't even know. I don't remember. I was just in school with them. I don't remember who they became, but they were all being taught at that age to become somebody famous, and they did.
right, right. So they were basically groomed at a young age. Yeah,
Yeah, to go with the program, to go with the
yeah.
our shadow government, the secret societies program.
Okay. Last week, you had told us a story about how you were traveling with your girlfriend. I think her name was Renee, and she was poisoned and literally replaced in front of your very eyes with a double right then and there. And of course, you were like under MK Ultra, so basically observed, but you knew she wasn't the real Renee. Okay. And then
Right.
you said that many of your girlfriends had been replaced, like, replaced, placed. So many of your girlfriends weren't organically
I
done.
oh yeah, I have many stories,
Yeah.
many stories. I was in high school, and I hooked up with this one girl, and she was a lot older than me. She was already over 18, but I hooked up with her, and we went out, and her brother actually robbed the Quigley's house one time, and they found all the gold and silver and stuff at the pawn shop that he had stolen from the Quigleys. But I was um, in Fresno, California. This was about 2 years later, after I had hooked up with this one gal, and I met her in Fresno, California, and out of the blue, she just popped up. She said, "Hey, come over to my house." So I was like, "Okay." I went over to her house, and she pulled off her clothes. We were making out, and then it was like she looks just like her, but it's not her. And after hanging out with her for about an hour, I knew it was not the same. I mean, I would state it right now: it was not the same girl. The girl that I dated when I was in high school, that was older than me, was not the same girl pretending to be her. It was totally mind blowing, and I'm still scratching my head, going, "Why was that even done?" I went over to her house. Um, there was a guy sitting in a recliner. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or not. I really don't. They had just cooked up some bear meat. They were like begging me to eat this bear meat. and I tried a piece, and it was the most awful crap I'd ever tasted. Almost tasted like human flesh or something. But I was like, that's not her. And there was just little details that it wasn't her. I don't know what really happened. I'm still, there's so many unanswered questions. But yeah, that was another girlfriend that was switched out that I had. Um, I believe they had killed my first girlfriend. Um, so many stories, but yeah, we'll leave that story because there's so many more for this show now. But
Okay.
yeah, her family was real big into the Mormon church. This one that was replaced, but yeah, she was 100% replaced. But she was trying to pass the John Kennedy Jr. test to see if she could fool other people, I guess. But facials, looking at her face, she looked identical. But when she took off her clothes, no, there was too many details that's not her. Um, so yeah, they use identity theft and why it was done. You know, why did she meet me? Um, because they found me at that point. Um, when she found me in Fresno, and it's like, hey, how are you doing? And then brought me to their house. Um, just to find out she was pretending to be this other gal. I,
Right. Right.
it's really crazy,
So they targeted you and they wanted to influence you, but you kind of knew it wasn't right from once you got to the house. And they were probably trying to drug you and do some other things. I don't know, but
I really don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
I after I spit that bear meat out, I hopped on. I believe I was on my motorbike, but anyway, I just sped off, and to this day, that story still. I got so many unanswered questions about that one. I really
right,
do.
right, right. But the fact that they would switch your girlfriend out in front of your eyes, so you obviously remember the story, is shocking. And I'm sure they've done
I
it
I
so many
also had
times.
one girlfriend. This was I believe it was 20 years ago. I wasn't going to tell any more girlfriend stories, but I'll tell this one. Um, I I was with my girlfriend rode up on her bicycle, and I was outside, and we went in the house. It was a trailer house. I've never had luxuries of a nice house or anything like that. Anyway, people that know me know my story. I traveled, lived in cars, trucks, and um, travel trailers and things like that. But I was outside. I don't know if I just got home or what, but she just pulled up on her bicycle. This was, my girlfriend, and I cared about her a lot. We went in my trailer, me and her, and Wayne was sitting on the couch, and he was fucking furious. He had fire in his eyes, and Wayne scares the shit out of me. I love him with all my heart, but he scares the shit out of me. If Wayne told me to jump, I would jump just so he wouldn't push me off a bridge. But he was sitting there and he was pissed, and he looked at my girlfriend and he said, "You fucked me over this time." Right at her. She grabbed me by the hand and she said, "Come on, let's get out of here." And I looked at her. I'm like, "What did you do?" She said, "Don't worry about it. Let's just go. Let's get out of here." So she grabbed me by the arm, took me out of my own trailer, left Wayne sitting on the couch, and I just looked at her and I went, "Whatever it was, you fucked up." I never saw her again.
Hmm. Interesting.
I don't know how she fucked Wayne over. Maybe I was deathly sick at that time, being poisoned and in and out of the emergency room. I really don't have all the answers, but all I know is you wouldn't fuck Wayne over and live.
That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
No, you don't. You don't screw somebody over like Wayne. I don't know anything about it. All I know is she wasn't worried about it. But Wayne has the power. Had the power to point his finger and name a time, and you would disappear at that time.
Okay.
You know, he had all the badges. He had, Homeland Security, FBI, CIA, secrets. He had all the badges. He could walk in anywhere he wanted to, do anything he wanted to do. But when he looked at her and said, "You fucked me over," I knew it wasn't good. I knew it wasn't good.
The fact that he has that authority and clearance should scare everyone watching this video. That someone can do that, act like that, just walk around and get the information, the data, access to everything. That should scare people.
Yeah, he used to have me do crazy shit just to get intel. It made a man out of me. The Hells Angels opened up a clubhouse in Ventura, and my job was to go out on the street and just stand there and see who would drive by and try to start a fight with me or give me shit. But I was real young. But yeah, he told me, "You go stand out on the fucking street and you just stand there all night." So that's what I did. Well, I got a lot of harassment by the cops. You know, the cops would stop and talk shit and say, "You're not welcome here. What the fuck are you doing?" Well, they were talking to John Kennedy Jr. standing on that street corner. The cops were. So Wayne grabbed me and he took me to police headquarters. And we went in and talked to the chief of police. And Wayne said, "I'll shut this whole motherfucker down right now. And if you don't think I can, you're wrong."
Wow.
Wayne took care of business when it was needed.
Right, right. Well, we're seeing video all over of police asserting more authority than they really have. They overstep their authority uh, in usually a negative way. We'll just put it that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you learn at a young age. It's these cops, the ones that are dealing fucking drugs and shit
Yeah,
just because
yeah,
they can out of the trunk of their car.
yeah.
I've learned that since I was a teenager, growing my pot, in the backyard, under the cover of the trees, and this was when pot was a big deal.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I learned way back then that the cops are the ones that are all in on the drug dealing and getting away with it, and prostitution and every other thing. We need to clean up so much. I had one guy. Um, he was Secret Service, um, but he told me we need police to police the police.
Right. Well, as we'd say, they don't uphold the Constitution, and many of them are, in secret societies, and they're doing all sorts of nefarious things, but they act like they're helping us. But do you notice how the laws have become stricter and stricter and more invasive as time has gone on? The police are not our friends, I hate to say it, most of them. I mean, there are some good ones out there, of course, but they've overstepped their authority. They're not for the people at all.
No, all the way to the way they bang on your door to say hello. Um, I was sleeping in my truck one time, in I think it was Riverside, and I was at a truck stop down there in LA. Anyway, it's all LA to me. Whether it's Riverside, Norco, Corona, all that shit is fucking LA to me. Um, when I was, I was in Fresno when I was young, and anything over the Grapevine was all LA. If you told somebody you were, going anywhere within 100 miles of LA, it was all LA. Same with if you're going to Oakland or San Francisco or any of those other towns, you would say, "I'm going to San Francisco." You wouldn't say
Yeah,
I was going to Oakland.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I even forgot where I was. It's early, Sue. I forgot where I was going with that one.
It's all good. It's all good. So, how are your road trip plans coming? I see you put a lot of stickers out on the trailer, and you have one for King Smarty out there, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I stuck that on there the other day for King Smarty. I'm still holding back dates. I don't think we're still being hindered. blocked from making it happen. There's a lot of money that's involved in going there and doing this. And if I stop in Dallas for a photo op, I would really like more than 3 or 4 people to show up. We were talking about the fake accounts that are popping up.
Yeah.
Um, they're getting so many views, and they're not really mine. One account on TikTok yesterday, I was looking at it, 34,000 followers, and it's not really me. It's just an account that looks like me. So I don't know what's going on there. I wish I could get somebody to get a viral video. I wish one of mine would go viral. If I could get a viral video where I could, head out to Dallas and say, "Hey, peeps, I'm going to Dallas. I'll be there at 3 o'clock today. I hope you can join me." I was even thinking about parking the truck in Vegas, maybe, and for a day, and just say, "Hey, anybody that can join me in Vegas, show up and sign the trailer." I might do that in Laughlin, and try to get it out and just see if anybody shows up just to
Right.
test the waters.
Right.
Um, that would be awesome. But I mean, this story should be on all mainstream media right now. It should be world news of what I'm sharing. Um, I really don't like talking about it, but the DNA test should be back in a few weeks. That is a direct test of my DNA and my father's DNA. That was a mess just even trying to get that crap going on. Um, but yeah, I'm asking people to send me a letter um, that declares our United States government a crime ring, that they have suppressed my story, covered up first degree plea plan murder, and put people in power that aren't even them themselves. And yeah, I'm asking for people. I want to dump a whole trailer load of envelopes certified by our post office right on the front lawn of the White House. I really would. But I seen they're putting up great big. I'm seeing they're putting up great big barriers on the White House right now. Little
With the
discs.
well, those stickers, each one has different frequencies for healing or whatever they might be. So I can explain the products to you as I have all of them pretty much myself. Um, but if you want, I just put it on live again. If you want, I'll go through what you got and tell you where to put the stickers. Some help you save energy, like heating or cooling. Some are for health. Some are for this. Some are for that. Some go on your car. So it's good. So all of these products,
I told Smarty a joke the other day in a message.
yeah,
I said because Robin put one of those stickers right on the headboard of the
yeah.
bed, and I told Smarty, I said, "Smarty, Robin's tired of sleeping with this old motherfucker, so she got one of your stickers on the headboard, thinking I'll turn into a fucking teenager again."
You want the anti-aging sticker then. But yeah,
I don't know which one it is. I don't know
yeah.
if it's working or not though.
Well, I'm gonna say since we've started talking, you look substantially better. Like you look like you're feeling better overall. You've got more energy, your color is better. So it seems like it's all working. So
Yeah,
yay.
well, my heart did go up from 10%. It's going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
2 years that I was in the hospital, they were talking, "You ain't gonna fucking live, dude." That's what they were saying. My heart was at 10%,
Yeah.
and it was crazy. But my last test a couple of months ago, it's up to 50%. I went into the doctor a few weeks ago, and the doctor was like, "There's nothing I can do for you, man. You're doing everything right." He said, "I'll see you in a year."
Wow.
I handed him one of my books. I handed him an autographed book, and I said, "You know, I appreciate you."
Yeah. Well, you had said, before in a previous video, you didn't think you were going to make it. And I hate to say it like that, but that's partially why you decided to tell your story. Now, of course, there was censorship and all of that, but you're going to be here with us telling your story, and that's your mission, which is why you've been saved from death only a jillion times. It's really exciting. And here we are witnessing the people watching this video are watching it unfold. So we saw you like you look substantially better, and it's only going to get better and better. Like if you wear the
Thank
PTSD
you.
charm, you put like that, you put the thing on the book like you
Oh
did
yeah.
last time. Yeah,
Just having this dog tag around my neck, um, with the frequency on it,
yeah,
um, it helps because it's something,
yeah,
around my neck all the time.
yeah,
Um, Post-traumatic stress disorder is huge, especially with somebody like me. Every time, I mean, just to deal with stepping out the fucking front door
yeah,
and thinking, and in your head, you think a bullet going through your fucking head just for stepping out the door, and not for nothing I have ever done to anyone, but for me being John Kennedy Jr., and they don't
right,
want this story out. And
right,
I have to live my life like that. I have to sleep with my 44 Magnum as my pillow. Um, you know, everywhere I go, everywhere I go, every minute, whether a car pulls up next to me or I get out of the car or a stranger walks up to me, I got to be ready for a death threat
yeah,
at any time, any moment, and that goes for the people around me also. But I've had to live with that. I've always called it the 1,000 yard stare, where I'm always looking as far as I can see, looking in the treetops, looking in the windows, looking on the rooftops, um, waiting for somebody to take my life away from me.
right,
So I can't get this story out to you all that are watching. I have
right.
to live with that each and every day. Even this road trip I'm planning to Arlington, and stopping at these stops. There's so many criminals in this world right now that are guilty of so many crimes that don't want me to share my story because it is so big. It would when we, I'm going to say when we get our government to start investigating all these murders and identity theft and everything else, unless we just have to tell them all to leave because they're all corrupt. There's so many people that are going to fall, so many people that are going to go down. You think Donald Trump and his 30 some odd felonies is a big deal? No, he's going to be tried, um, you know, to the utmost of the law, just like they all will be, from the Obamas to the Clintons to the Bushes. They are all going to be charged, and I'm going to do whatever I can to charge them because they belong to the same crime ring that
Right.
has devastated and is tearing America apart. But it's the same crime ring. They'll stand up and they'll tell you, like I said earlier, you only have two candidates to vote for. They're both selected by organized crime, but when they get in, uh, they don't. They're not there to help us. They're there to help their little
Right.
organization,
Right. Exactly
and
it.
you see it every week. Like I said the other day, I had to step over a homeless guy sleeping in front of the supermarket, and then when you get in there, the prices have gone through the roof. There's so many problems we can fix each and every day.
Right.
Um, you know, People ask me, what can we do? What would you do as president of the United States on day one? I can't single one out because there's so many that they could fix today. They could fix so many today. Biden's in there right now. He could sign his pen, clean up the homeless, stop the flood of over our borders, stop the flow of fentanyl, clean up, you know, the homeless in all the cities. And it would only take a stroke of a pen. It really would.
And
We got the power. We could do it, and they don't do it because they're making money off of all that. They're making tons of money.
that is the
Oh,
point.
it's frustrating.
Yeah, they earmark. I saw a video the other day. They earmark, I don't know the figure, a huge amount of money for helping the homeless. Let's say it was in California. Well, none of that money hits the people. It goes to the administrators and for all these fees and things. It disappears. It's a way of laundering money. All right.
Oh yeah.
So you mentioned earlier, like how you don't understand why the story isn't bigger, why you're not getting more views, why you're being censored, which is it's shocking, okay, how censored you are and some of the other people that are telling the truth versus people that are giving disinformation. But the problem is the perpetrators are the ones doing the censoring. They have the power and control right now. All right. They don't want the story out. So they're going to do whatever they can to discredit you, take your video down, take your channel down, put doubles in, do all this stuff that they're doing. And if somebody that's
Oh
watching
yeah.
this doesn't see that happening, you need to look around and see what's happening in the USA, let alone the entire world. Shocking.
Well, my story is 100% truthful. And even without my story, if you look at what I'm all about, and that's making America great, cleaning up our problems, all of them, putting the flag back in the classroom, stopping people from tearing down monuments that are memories of people loved and lost. There's so much. I'm for America and the people, but we have been infiltrated so much. Um, this younger generation, I was thinking of that when I was in the shower. I did some crazy, stupid things when I was young that I would not do because I have the knowledge today. And some of those are extreme. Of the things I did when I was young, growing up, I wouldn't do those things today just because I knew. Just like, um, anyway, I hope people get the point.
Everybody does stupid things
But
when they're younger, but you had a extraordinary access to um, we'll call them celebrities, politicians, famous people, and also experiences that the average person probably didn't have. Like we grew up in the same house, we knew the same people. We didn't have the broad range of, interaction with others and the experiences that you had. So maybe our crazy wasn't what your crazy was, you know?
yeah, well, the manipulation of children, they get children young. Hollywood,
Yep.
this organized crime is huge. Well, when I tell people they passed me around as a child, this movie is a good example. Left is right, up and down. But anyway, um,
Doris
that's
Day.
me right there.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see, right there. That's me.
Yep.
So here's what they did, and this is a total mind screwing. On the set, the bunk beds and everything, from Brian Keith and Doris Day. Um, as a child, for the to prepare for the movie, they simply said, "This is your new mother and mom and dad." So for a couple of weeks, they we ate at the table. They had me calling them mom and dad. The scene where I come out screaming in this movie, there's a scene. I come out screaming, and I was like, "There's a man sleeping in mom's bed." That's in the movie, but they programmed in my mind just for this movie so they could make it so real that that really was my mother and father.
Okay. Is that a
That's
typical
how.
way they prep kids for movies nowadays in general?
If they do, it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But you look at, I watch all these old time shows of around the era or before. Here's a good example: Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock. I've seen it before, but I saw it again last night. Um, there's a guy, and he gets fired from his boss. So this guy gets a gun out of his desk. He walks into his boss's office, kills his boss. Boom, his boss is dead. This is an Alfred Hitchcock show. Well, the next morning, he doesn't go to work because he killed his boss. His phone rings. The secretary calls him and says, "How come you didn't make it to work today? The boss is really pissed off at you. How come you didn't come to work?" So he goes to work, and his boss is there. His boss came back from the dead. Well, they put a man in his boss's shoes using identity theft, and they were sharing how they did it on Alfred Hitchcock to steal that business. And
Interesting.
that's actually a show. So the guy shoots his boss for firing him, and the people behind the scenes put a replacement using identity theft as his boss. and they just stole the whole business right then and there, and they exposed it on Alfred Hitchcock.
Right.
There was another scene on Perry Mason. I don't know if it's in my book, but when my son was just born, not just born, he was actually a little older. I'm thinking he was 2 or 3 years old, 3 years old, maybe four. I don't know, but my son was young. My brother, Max Quigley, I was sleeping on the floor on a sleeping bag because we could afford a bed. We couldn't afford a food. We couldn't afford nothing. They made sure of that. But I was sleeping, and I always sleep with my weapon next to my head. But I woke up, and Max Quigley was putting that gun in my son's hand. And the minute I saw him pointing it at my head, I woke up and was like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" I was that close to death at that time from my own son because Max Quigley was coaxing him to shoot me. Well, Perry Mason, um, on that one show had the same scenario, but with that scenario was the kid shot a dog. I even think the kid's name was David, to tell you the truth.
Mm.
But anyway, Hollywood puts this stuff in their archives, and they bring it to real life. It's crazy. You know, the first thing I thought about when I saw Perry Mason and them accusing that kid in a dog or something. But anyway, you know, you put the scenario, it's the same thing Max Quigley was trying to get my son to do, was shoot me when he was
Right.
3 years old. And
Right.
nobody would have questioned it. The cops would have showed up. Oh, well, you know, he sleeps with a gun. The kid got a hold of the gun, and
Right.
boom, he's dead.
Right.
They cover their tracks that way. They do sneaky shit like that all the time. This is the people in the underworld. This is the people running our government.
Right.
We've been lied to. People, you all have been lied to, and it's not going to change. But it wasn't lied by me. I hope you research my story, dig a little, and see we need major change
Right.
quick.
Right. I think the first step for the average person is to look around, like, again, read the book, educate yourself, watch the videos. And John, you're putting tons of content out there. I've been watching I guess you'd call them lives. You do usually every night. And like, I have learned so much about what you've witnessed. Like you did one on MK Ultra about a week ago, maybe. And you used some names there, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh my golly, that is shocking stuff. Shocking. Yeah. So,
yeah. I was even in Course Gold. I saw a video last night of microwave and how governments use microwave technology to scramble people's brains. I have made several videos on how this was years ago. I haven't made any videos lately of how our United States embassy and the workers were attacked with radio waves and scrambled their brains. That was attack on America. It wasn't brought to mainstream. Um, these secret societies, our shadow government has this technology to scramble somebody's brain. So they can bring their little box, their little microwave box, and they can set up camp at the house next door, turn it on, and you'll slowly feel the effects. I know it's happened to me. I 100%. Um, I have been in a place for too long, and your ears start ringing. Your mind starts going all over the place where it shouldn't be.
right,
And when that starts happening, you wish you knew where you could pinpoint what their device and whose trunk of their car it's coming from. But I have actually experienced that feeling. After a few days, you know something's not right. Your mind's
right,
not working right.
right,
Your ears are constantly ringing, and I have hopped in a vehicle and just left. Just went up to the mountains and walked around. And after a few days, the feeling's gone.
right. Right.
And the first thing I think of is their microwave radio technology, however you want to call it, um, trying to scramble your fucking brain because,
Yeah. Yeah.
they have that technology. The weaponry that the United States government and these organized crime members have, it's crazy, but it's real. It's so real.
They don't really even need to be in proximity to direct a weapon at anyone anymore, of course, or listen to communications. Like we see in the movies that they need a wired device or they need to be physically there. That's not true. They have technology we can't even imagine. All right, so they can spy on us in
Oh wow.
so many ways. So yeah,
Yeah, talking about that, what the internet is doing to us right now. But I was having a problem with my Wi-Fi. I need to call them again, but I made a phone call to my Wi-Fi provider, and he looked at the number I was calling from, and he said, "Yeah, I know exactly where you're at and what your problem is." From one phone call, he could tell where I was. Um, I made a video on TikTok 2 days ago. This is a technology that they're pulling up. Well, one thing is if you are on TikTok, TikTok technology, if I went like this, just like that on TikTok during a live video, a big warning would flash up and tell me if I don't put my cigarette out, I will be cut off. That's the technology these computers have. Me going like this and them knowing about it. So the next day I was thinking, man, they have that technology over a fucking video, just over something that's supposed to be fun. But I was taking a picture of the trailer, and on the side of the trailer, I'll repeat it. It says, "We the people
right,
declare the United States government a criminal organization." I want everybody's signature. Back me, help you. Use me as a voice to get out there. As individuals, we don't have a voice any longer.
right.
But I accidentally took a picture of my shoe. I was making a video to share on TikTok, but I actually took a picture of my shoe, just the tip of my shoe. And I didn't know I did it. So I was looking at my photos and there was a picture of my shoe, but the picture was speeded up a million miles an hour. It was all by accident. And it showed me walking around in a circle in the gravel. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I'm going to make a video of me walking around in a circle and just put something funny on there or something. So I went to TikTok and I posted that picture. But when I posted the picture, it wasn't going to me in a circle no more. I was like, this is no fun. I wanted me to go around in a circle in a gravel, just my 1 foot. Um, I still don't know how that all works, but it was all by accident.
Yeah,
So I went to TikTok. I posted a picture to make a video of the tip of my shoe, just the tip of my shoe, not my whole foot, just the tip of my shoe. Automatically, a video came up within seconds. I mean, a song to put with my video. And it said, taking the foot forward. We will march on. And I was like, that was quick. How did their computer put the tip of it didn't say anything about the gravel.
yeah,
Right
yeah,
away, it was about my foot. Just, it wasn't my whole shoe.
yeah.
So the technology they are getting from one picture of the tip of my shoe. And then I was thinking, these people, the main thing for organized crime and these people running things is identity theft. They get people to look like someone else, whether they strong arm them, bribe them, threaten them. They get people to choose. That's how they make their billions of dollars. So right away, I was thinking they're stealing our facial recognition.
Right,
They're
right,
scanning our facial and they're putting millions and millions and millions of people in their database. So they could pull up all kinds of people that look just like me on their database and they can pick and choose. I mean, there's millions and millions of people that they can scan for facial recognition. Just me right here, right now. It's crazy. So then I was thinking, you see all these other videos of these people wearing masks and every other thing. Maybe they already know they're scanning for their facial recognition. That's why they're wearing a mask. I
well,
ain't worried about it,
yeah,
but
yeah,
what they're doing with their technology is way beyond
Way
a
beyond.
TikTok
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
TikTok video. They're spending billions of dollars in all this technology. For a TikTok video, no, not happening.
Yeah.
There's more to it. They're gathering intel on everybody, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy what they're up to, and who knows what they're up to. Are they going to have all this on their computers for war, for an invasion of the United States? They already got us all talking on the computer. They already got us pinpointed our location. They already got everything about us. Um, and to me, with the way I think, it would make an invasion of the United States of America so freaking easy.
Right. Well, I think they're using it for CGI as well. They can recreate someone, they can use it for multiple purposes, identity theft being a big one. But like what I think that you've done in the past couple of weeks is really given us great education. You explained how they will use identity theft for, let's say, the owner of a business, and then they go in and take over the business, right? For whatever reason, maybe for the money, maybe for the distribution system they have, whatever it might be. You told us last video about, you gave an example of them taking over a rancher that had a lot of land or whatever. Again, they can use it for whatever they want to subdivide it and put up houses, whatever it might be. It's a way for them to gain property without working for it. So they become very wealthy and in power and control. So for those that are watching, that's one of the reasons why they do this, as well as take over celebrities and those that influence the masses. All right. So this is a real thing,
Yeah,
a real problem.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I know. I know everybody. I get so much hate over Donald Trump. Everybody's so brainwashed into thinking Donald Trump's the savior and everything else.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump is the best example in my mind right now to share. In 1989, and I know Donald Trump was trying to become a pilot, get his pilot license, buy his own helicopter. But in 1989, Donald Trump, the pilot of a helicopter, and all his executives, his casino executives, got on a helicopter. That helicopter obviously was rigged to crash on the New Jersey Parkway. Um, they love aircraft crashes.
Right.
But in 1989, Donald Trump and all his executives bit the dust. Boom. They got them all in one shot. They had already pre planned a Donald Trump to look just like Donald Trump in 1989. That Donald Trump instantly stepped into his shoes in 1989 and became him. At that moment, all Donald Trump's fortunes, everything Donald Trump owned, which wasn't much because he owed so much,
Right.
he borrowed so much, and every other thing, it's all been a lie. But at that moment, boom, instant billionaire. From that moment, they had plans to build the new Donald Trump up because he was being controlled by the shadow government and still is.
Right.
They made him president of the United States. Like we said earlier, people are selected and not elected. So they had plans from the get go, but they use everything at their disposal. And the one was they just ripped Donald Trump off for his life and every possession he had in seconds. In seconds.
Well, they also, the people donated over 200 million to his cause. And
Organized crime members.
yeah, so we're just shelling out
Organized crime.
money.
These people that were protected by him. Um, you know, I even said that in a video. You can get a Marc Chagall painting or a Pablo Picasso or something. Um, that painting will sell for $25 million for one painting. That's money laundering within organized crime right there.
Yeah.
You know, who's going to pay $25 million for a painting?
Right.
So the first thing I thought of with all those millions coming in for Donald Trump was members of the same circle. Got to keep them tight. It's real sad, but yeah, it's organized crime running the show. And I've seen so many videos, people saying, well, we'll vote for Donald Trump. And it really hurts my heart because they're saying they want a criminal in office. They're all criminals. So don't think I'm censoring Donald Trump out. Each and every one of them are.
Right.
But they're saying they want a criminal in office, no matter what, for the future of America, the future of their children and their loved ones. They want criminals running things. It's sad. It's so sad. Um, they really need to wake up and say, hey, why would I want a criminal running things? There's hundreds and hundreds of more people qualified to run this country than criminals.
Right. Right. Well, the problem is the good guys don't rise to the top because they're not doing nefarious things to get there. Okay, so a band, a movie maker, somebody that's organically creative and doing a good thing and doesn't join the club will never become popular. They'll never become powerful or influential. And that's why all
I
of those
really,
influencers are nefarious.
I really hope and I pray God gave me a vision. This is going to happen. So I hope I can get supporters to support me. Write your signature, send it to me, share, join, follow me on TikTok or YouTube or wherever. Let's gain support and let's take our country back
Right.
from this crime ring that's running it now.
Right.
And you can use me as an example. I don't know of anybody else willing to stand up and risk their life for America to make America better again. I really don't. So use me as an example and follow me, share me. Let's build me up where I have a
Right.
voice because they got us shadow banned, blocked, hindered, discouraged. They send their haters in with their hate comments. They got the bots coming in. And it's all because we are exposing the biggest crime ring this world has ever seen. And let's march on. Let's do it.
Right, right. Well, when it comes time for your drive over to Arlington, you'll let us know where you'll be and we'll help promote it. Okay, so number one. So number two, for those that haven't, again, I'm going to promote the book, Stolen Identity. Even if you don't read, let's say you don't like to read, flip open to a section and just read a couple paragraphs. You're going to be hooked. And this is going to make a mini series one day. Like this is like a 10 season intense miniseries, documentary. It is insane information, and it's not even all in the book. So help out that way. Or if you're called to do so, you can donate through Cash App to John, and that'll be in the description below. And please subscribe to his channel so his content, his true content gets out there because it's really easy for somebody to download the videos and act as an imposter to you. And we don't know what their reason for doing that is, I don't trust anyone hardly anymore,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, if it's they have bad intentions, we'll spin it around for good intentions. Um, if people want to send me $1, that is so awesome because I use that money to plan for this trip to make it happen. Shit like this is gifts.
Yeah.
I would not go out and buy something like that for myself. I would be buying a sticker for a trailer or preparing to do what
Yeah.
I need to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all appreciated. It really, really is.
Yeah.
Um, I thank each and every one of them for sharing, gifting. With all my heart, I appreciate people going out of spending their time making videos to share my story, to get it out to the world. These people are awake and they know it is that important. And I really appreciate it. I really, really, really appreciate
Well,
it.
I
I
thank you for your
appreciate you
courage
too.
in speaking up because, like you said, this is not an easy mission that you're on. Like walking out the door, you risk your life and your reputation. Everything is at risk right now, but it's a extremely worthy cause, and you're helping so many more than you even know. So thank you, thank you.
I appreciate it.
All right. Hey, we will talk to you again soon. Thank you for all of your support, watchers. Please help John. Thank you so
Share,
much.
share, share.